Okay, so today we're going to be talking about integers and absolute value. First of all, let's start out with a few definitions. Integers are the counting numbers. They're negatives and 0. So that means counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And they're negative, so -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on in the negative direction, and also including 0. And the absolute value is the distance from 0. So I'll kind of show you what that means on a number line. So this is what a number line looks like. Let's move that back. We're going to put 0 right in the middle. And so 1, 2, -1, -2. Okay, so that's kind of what a number line looks like. And each of those numbers, 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, those are all integers. And the absolute value is the distance from 0. So say we wanted to find out what the absolute value of 2 was. So you go to 2 and you see how far it is from 0. You see 1 unit, 2 unit. So the absolute value of 2 is 2. Now, what if we wanted to take the absolute value of -2? Same thing, go to -2, and then you want to count how many units you are until 0. 1, 2. That is also 2. So the absolute value of -2 is 2. There is a symbol that indicates absolute value, and that looks like this. It's like 2 just bars. And just put a number in it, whatever. So that right there symbolizes the absolute value of 2, those 2 bars. So when you see those 2 bars around a number, that means they want the absolute value of that number that's inside. Okay, now we're going to graph a set of integers. So we are going to draw a number line. Put 0 in the middle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so graph the set of integers -1, 0, and 3. So when you graph on a number line, you're just going to go to that location on the number line and draw a dot. So first we're going to graph -1. So you're going to go to -1 on the number line. Kind of hard to get a circle there, but pretend that's a circle. And that's graphing -1 on the number line. Let's graph 0. Same thing. And 3. Right there. Okay, so that is how you would graph a set of integers on a number line. Now we're going to evaluate some absolute value. So the absolute value of -3. That's the first one we're going to evaluate. So if we need to, we can draw a number line and see how far that is from 0. 0, 1, 2. Okay, so -3, we're going to start right there where -3 is, and we're going to count how far we are from 0. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of -3 is 3. And we talked about the absolute value being the distance. And so when I think about absolute value, I immediately think distance, and I think distance. If I were going to drive a distance or walk a distance or bike a distance, can I do those things negatively? You can't. It has to be positive. So your absolute value is always positive because it indicates a distance, and you cannot go into a negative distance or you would be going into the ground, which is kind of silly. So I just think distance, positive. You're walking, you're biking, you're driving. A distance, it's always positive. Okay, so now we're going to evaluate the expression. We have the absolute value of -5 minus the absolute value of 2. So we're going to figure out what the absolute value of -5 is, and if we need to, we can draw a line diagram, and I always forget to go to my pencil. We have 0. We're just going to put -5 right here. So what is the distance from -5 to 0? And remember, distance always positive. So our distance is 5. So what we have is 5, and then we have minus, and then we have the absolute value of 2, which if we graph that right there, 2, whoops. The absolute value of 2 is 2, so we have 5 minus 2 equals 3. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have 2 plus the absolute value of -3. Now if you notice, around 2 there is no absolute value symbol, so that is just a straight up 2. So we can write 2 plus, and then we have the absolute value of -3. And that is, as we've been learning, 3. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. And that's how you evaluate that one. So I'm going to have you complete a little quiz after this video. And then tomorrow in class we will go over some of these problems. Make sure that we all understand absolute value and what an integer is. And I will see you tomorrow in class.